Hello everyone and welcome to another high elo game of Age of Empires. Today we're dipping our toes into the shallow waters of shoals as Hera, playing as the Poles in red, gets ready to take on Mr. Yo, playing as the Chinese in blue. Now all the players herd their herdables, explore their immediate surroundings, and try to go up to the next age as fast as possible. Let's take a look at the Civ matchup, and then we'll take a look at the map itself that we'll be watching today. The Poles very much a cavalry forward civilization. Their scout cavalry line units come with a small attack bonus against archers and can be upgraded to do some trample damage, which can be pretty damn useful in the late game, since Poles are one of the only two civs in the game to have their hussars replaced with winged hussars, which are already tankier and stronger than normal hussars. Now, if you are in the mood for something a little bit heavier, Pole Knights and Cavaliers can be upgraded to cost a lot less gold, which makes it much easier to spam these units in the later stages of the game. And to support their cavalry on the field of battle, the Poles can turn to their unique unit, the Obuch, an overall tanky, well-armored infantry unit whose attack actually reduces the enemy armor, or rather the armor of the enemy it is attacking, both melee and pierce, by 1 unit with every swipe of its massive giant warhammer. And to support production of their food and gold intensive units, Pole stone miners also generate gold. Their farmers have access to a unique structure called the Folwark, which I'm hoping we'll see in a hot minute, which I'll show you when it comes out. It does replace the mill, and any farm seated within its radius automatically adds 8% to Hera's coffers. And if that's not enough for you, it also adds 5 population space. Now, Pole villagers are also harder to raid because, like Viking berserkers starting in Feudal Age, they do begin to regenerate HP. Now, immediately north, across the pond, we've got Mr. Yo playing as the Chinese in blue, a well-rounded civilization whose economic bonuses and strong tech tree mean a player has a lot of options on how to crush his or her enemies. To start with, all technologies get progressively cheaper starting in Feudal Age. Chinese farms seed with 10% more food. Chinese town centers support 10 population space instead of the usual 5, and you hit the ground running by starting every single game with 3 extra villagers, but 200 less food and 50 less wood. Now, to help defend your economy against raid, Chinese town centers come with an extra +5 line of sight, giving them a lot more time to garrison their villagers and prepare to defend them, and their walls and towers can be upgraded to get 30% more HP. Now, on the field of battle, the Chinese can field all top-of-the-line infantry units, although without supplies. Be prepared to pay a little bit more for your champions. Their foot archers, their skirmishers are also quite strong, especially if you mix in their unique unit, the Chukanu, a foot archer that fires multiple arrows that can be upgraded to have an even bigger attack. Now, while Chinese cavalry is good, this is something that I've gotten in trouble for in the past, and I love mentioning it. Chinese cavalry is good. Chinese siege is the real problem. It can be a pain in the ass to deal with, since their scorpions can be upgraded to get a massive +4 attack boost. Those are the two civilizations, one to the north, one to the south. Let's take a look at the map itself. First thing you'll notice, in the immediate vicinity of the base of the original town center, not a lot of precious resources, not a lot of gold, plenty of stone, a bit more than Arabia, 1 extra patch in the immediate vicinity, but gold, non-existent. Take a look at our Chinese base also. Only 4 patches of gold and 10 patches of stone. It looks like Mr. Yo's stone is a little bit further away from his town center than Hera's. Hera's nice and secure in the back. Why is there so little gold? Because if you look on the mini-map, all the gold is focused here on the west and in the east, protected by these Nile crocodiles who are ready to chomp down on any loomless villager silly enough to try to mine the resources here. How many patches of gold do we have here? 32 patches, 25.6 thousand. Should be the same here, right? No, 29.6 thousand, unless I'm somehow clicking incorrectly. And there's also a little bit of stone and a relic or two strewn about the map. Although 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 relics. We'll see if Mr. Yo, usually the one who likes to gather relics, gets all 6, or if Hera is going to put up some kind of resistance. And one thing you'll notice in shoals, I'm going to zoom out. Apologies to anyone on a smaller screen. We've got a big old X-Men shaped lake in the middle with a few of these absolutely stunning, beautiful. I love maps that have these. I believe they're called karst towers, if I'm not mistaken. They're basically limestone columns or pillars. If you just Google Karst Tower, Thailand, you might see some of the most beautiful natural structures you've ever seen in your life, but it adds a little bit of visual beauty to the map. And both players looks like are already fishing, and it looks like if you take a look at the mini map, there are plenty of fish in the sea. And in addition, there does seem to be a north-south, east-west passage here that the players can traverse with their land-based armies, which adds a little bit of spice, and a few mangroves here to soak up some malaria and other diseases, whatever else mangroves do. They drain swamps and stuff like that. So that should be pretty much untouchable. I don't expect to see these mangroves getting chopped down, but that is the map we're on. Everyone starting with a sea tower that I believe fires multiple projectiles, so their bases are at least initially safe from things like a quick men-at-arms rush or a militia rush, or even a scout, a curious scout. And as you can see as well, one last thing I'll point out before we jump right back into the game, plenty of huntables out on the map. Unfortunately, no Mongols, no Goths, nothing like that in this game. Actually, did I count the relics wrong? I don't think I counted this one. I'm going to zoom out again. Really sorry for anyone on a smaller screen. Let's double click. Yeah, I missed that one. So there are a total of 7 relics. Hera has completely walled himself in, going full Howard Hughes, and there is the full work. Take a look. You click it. A shaded area appears. Any farm that's seated in here, automatically 8% gets added to your coffers. That being said, the Chinese with their 10% extra food farms, I don't know how else to say that, their farms seed with 10% more food. We'll see. But remember, unlike the Poles where it automatically adds the amount to your coffers, the Chinese still have to till their fields and pick their crops and whatever else the lingo is for farming their farms in order to collect that extra 10%. Looks like we've got a bit of an attack here. Mr. Yo looks like this is the 3rd fishing ship he has killed of Hera's. 3 economic kills for him, 3 total kills. And I believe this is one of those structures, these karst towers, that you can't see enemy units behind them. And man, oh man, have we hypothesized about how much fun you can have. And I think, I don't want to speak incorrectly. I think T90 had a short where there was a monk behind one of these. I think it was a desert map, so it would have been a butte. Honestly, I think one of the things in learning to cast Age of Empires, in addition to learning how to cast, period, in addition to having knowledge of the game itself, man, oh man, I didn't think geology would play such a big role. I think there was a map recently where there was a ridge going east to west, and one of you guys told me about it being a ridge. I thought it was what did I call it? An isthmus or something like that. I don't know what the hell I called it, but man, oh man, is geology really important when casting this game. In any event, both players in Feudal. Mr. Yo, 40 villagers. Hera, 30 villagers. Mr. Yo might want to put some kind of pressure on a Pole. I mean, the lack of gold here is spells serious trouble for any attempt to go heavy cavalry. That being said, we saw ignore these additional gold patches for what I'm about to say, but this map, let me know, who do you think fares better here? The civilization whose knights and cavaliers only cost 30 gold, or the civilization whose technologies get progressively cheaper? Looks like another kill for Mr. Yo. Hera now has no eyes on the map, although that's just temporary. If another scout pops out, another one being trained. I mean, if either player gets their hands on this gold, it's going to be good night bears for the other one. I'm surprised Mr. Yo is taking a bit of a more relaxed approach here. Like I said, he knows what the Poles are capable of. Hera, secondary wall off, decides to abandon the relic, at least temporarily. If I'm not mistaken, doesn't look like there is a path. We know to the south, to the north of the market. Are these bunnies? Oh, goodness gracious. That, okay. I don't think I noticed those bunnies hanging upside down. Okay, dock has gone down. House is next on the agenda. It looks like our Pole has just completely abandoned the water, which I'm not surprised. but continuing to get some good scouting. And there's that sea tower trying to zone, but the scout is just too fast. 1.55 tiles per second. A second one comes in as well. And now Mysterio says, okay, you know what? You're doing it to me. Why the hell won't I just do it to you? Okay, instead of scouting, decides to attack the house. Hera pokes in, Hera pokes out. I'm assuming we are going to follow, and I'm probably completely wrong. I'm assuming we're going to follow a closed map meta with this game, because I see they're both rushing up to Castle Age, although rushing up is a bit of a misnomer. One on the back of 46 villagers, one on the back of 36 villagers. So not exactly a super duper rush. Mysterio continues to expand his control of these islands. I mean, Hera just, again, has completely abandoned all water. He has said, you know what, forget it. I'm just going to focus on insert focus here. We'll see when he gets the Castle Age. I'm assuming it's cavalry. Of course it's going to be cavalry, as he now moves forward with 4. Where is the 5th? He's got a 5th. Ooh, we've got 4 villagers moving up. But Mysterio, how does he know? He's going to see these guys immediately. Look at that vision. He sees them. He runs up. There's the 5th one. But his scout is damaged. Hera's could do quite a lot of damage here if he wanted to. And Hera moves back. He sees Mysterio's scout, seeing him immediately. Hits castle, immediately town center to the right for our pole, immediately a town center to the left for our Chinese, another one to the back of both of their bases, and both players, one secure town center, can't risk too much, and one very exposed town center, risk it all for that gold. Hera choosing to place his town center right next to the stone, needs to get a castle up so he can get Schlachter. Mysterio, no such need, places his castle right next to the gold and needs to start mining this immediately. Villager, what are you doing? There we go. Okay, so she is seeding a farm. Counting. What's that phrase that the actors always say before when they practice their lines to quote unquote loosen up their tongues or something? She gathers seashells by the seashore or something like that. Maybe I should start saying that so I can stop with all my vocal tics and going every second like a robot who's malfunctioning or something. Okay, let's take a look. Both players have gotten their town centers up, both risky and secure. Hera significantly down in villagers, 13. That's a 30% smaller economy at the moment. His army also half the size. And what does he have? A monk and 3 scouts. I mean, I'm assuming the monk is going to get this relic at some point. So far, 0 relics apiece. Okay. Hera lost his monk. So now his army count is 3. But another one training. Do not fret. Sorry, I think I kicked the cable of my microphone. And look at Mysterio starting to get eyeballs out on the map. Ooh, is the villager going to walk by the crocodile? No, she's taking the long route. Or maybe not. Maybe should activate the crocodile. No? There we go. Oh my god, look at that. He went through the ferns. Geology, topography. Man, oh man, does Age of Empires require a comprehensive set of scientific skills in order to cast. At least I got the fact that this is the crocodile, right? Although nowhere near the Nile. In any event, enough nonsense. 3 scouts, a monk. These ships are not going to be able to reach or do anything. And Hera already getting the first relic. Castle going up for him. He's going to dominate this area of the map, Mysterio. A monk, a camel, 3 light cavalry units are what he's working with. And now he needs to escape. Or maybe he doesn't. Maybe he's going to attack the villager. The monk, rather. I don't think there's any other unit in this game that I confuse so much with other units than the monk. I think I call monks knights. I think sometimes I call them, you heard me just call it a villager. I don't know why. I think I've called them priests before. I don't exactly know what the hell goes on in the inner recesses of the old brain, you know? 24 minutes in, army supplies are nothing to write home about. Hera, for a second there, was housed at 70. Now, okay, we know the exact direction our pole is going. Husbandry, scale barding armor. I fully expect Schlachter to be researched any second now once he gets that gold up. 300 gold. He's a little bit away. He's a little bit away. By the way, you know why? If you take a look at the top left of your screen, his gold is going up a unit every time. It's because he was mining stone there for a second just to get up to 300. And it looks like he's still mining stone. There we go. 1 gold for every 3 stone mined. Okay, I think he maybe overshot the mark there. I think he's got enough for Schlachter. 500 food, 300 gold. Or maybe he's heading up to Imperial. No, he's got the castle up. He's getting another relic. But Mr. Yo behind this has already gotten 2. He knows Hera's on this right side. By the way, does Hera know that Mr. Yo's on the left? No, he doesn't. Although he's seen the farm, so he knows there's something here. And Hera, I'm assuming Hera, the best player in the world, having seen a farm here, knows that there's not going to be a mill. He probably knows there's going to be a town center, so no real reason to scout. What is Mr. Yo planning here with this villager? He's got so much wood. He's got so many resources. Hera, okay, I thought so, is heading up to Imperial. Mr. Yo, any minute now, he's 91 civilian population to 75, 81 villagers to 77. Hera is catching up in villager count, but again, he's completely given up control of the water, which means our Chinese is going to have a good amount of food throughout this game. And now we're seeing the stables being plopped down. Another town center for our Pole. Okay, we'll keep an eye out on this villager, see what he decides to build. Crocodile tried to make an issue of it. Ooh, beautifully placed mining camp here for our Chinese. So much access to so much gold. How many villagers on gold, by the way, do we have? Only 4 for Hera. Okay, there's Schlachter. Oop. I misclicked right as it... I missed it by a split second. So Schlachter is done for our Pole. Only 4 villagers on gold, but 13 on stone. Does help him out. Whereas our Chinese, 16 villagers on gold. So we know our Pole is going cavalry. What is our Chinese planning on doing? I see a stable. Just the one. I see a barracks, just the one. And that's basically it. I don't really see any other military infrastructure unless we're going Chukanu's. Oh, yes, okay. Forget that. He is planning on going static attack. Imperial Age himself, 55 seconds behind his opponent, which means Hera should be popping out a Treb. No, he hasn't. Oh, oops, he hasn't seen the castle yet. So no real point to have a Treb out. But Cavaliers are on the menu. And remember, with Schlachter, their Cavaliers, the Poles, do only cost 30 gold. 30 gold, which is absolutely crazy. No change to the 60 food that it costs rather. But the gold is what is happening. Here, the monk. What are you healing? Okay, some of the light cav, I guess, got injured. Hera taking a very safe, very secure approach here. With these castles sideswiping, our Chinese is going heavy camels. He knows the Pole is going Schlachter. Now in Imperial, heavy camels with plus 18 attack. Take a look at the top left. The Poles do miss out on the final armor upgrade. So these camels, not that armor really relevant against the camel. It's really that plus 18 attack bonus right now, plus 9. We saw them take on Steppe Lancers yesterday. Now we're going to see them take on Schlachter privileges. As the players circle, Mr. Yo decides to send in a scout camel to see what the hell is going on. Runs into a monk and decides to delete rather than allow that camel to get converted. First Treb out for Mr. Yo. Okay, Hera immediately producing 2. 1 out of here, 1 out of here. But the balls are already in the air, the rocks are flying, and the castle HP is falling. Hera, though, ooh, must be such a sour feeling having 617 stone. Oh, I am looking at the wrong... I'm looking at the wrong part of the map. He's got 1,000 stone. Mr. Yo, almost enough stone for another castle. Does have 2 castles here to the 2 castles of his opponent. But we're going 27 Cavaliers now. Blast Furnace being researched, but that takes 100 seconds. Mr. Yo, 10 Chukanus, 16 heavy camels. I think I favor the camels in this engage, especially in a choke point. Again, the camels, really, it's their attack bonus that matters. Okay, Hera peeling off a few Cavaliers to the left to attack the Chukanus, but the camels are absolutely shredding the Cavaliers to the right. Gets one Treb. Will it be enough? That's a lot of Cavaliers that our Pole just lost to get rid of one Treb. Chukanu count still 10, Camel count 13, and our Polish castle is down. Our Polish Treb Hera really could bring one of these villagers and repair it. Look how slow. You guys know how much I hate camels when they attack anything other than counter units they're supposed to counter. Look how many years it took those camels to take down that Treb, but not without a cost. A castle of his own goes down, and now Mr. Yo disrupting the food income of his opponent. His Trebs are exposed. Where the heck are the Chukanus? There's only 4 of them left. They're all here. Okay, the camels with their speedier movement do manage to block the Cavaliers on the right, but on the left, the Cavaliers close. The Treb one will definitely fall. Another one takes a ball to the face, but another castle falls for our Pole. I don't know who's winning here. They are both giving as good as they're getting. Villager count identical, army count identical, scores identical. Oh my goodness. It looks like in the middle of this, I'm not going to peel away, but to the left of our mini-map, I see a Polish castle going up. And now the camels feel secure enough they can move, but this is a trap. Hera pulling Mr. Yo to the right so he can attack from the left. But there's a good amount of villagers here, now reinforcing camels. Not exactly cheaper Byzantine camels, not exactly quicker produced camels, but man, oh man. How sour is it to be that one villager who took the Treb ball to the face? A bunch of villagers in shell shock. They don't know what to do anymore. Mr. Yo gets the last Treb of Hera. Hera is selling stone for gold. He is putting out more and more Cavaliers to the west. Castle versus castle. One Treb being built, one Treb being built, Cavaliers moving in. Does Mr. Yo have any army here? Does he have any structures? Yes, he's got one stable. He's got enough wood for one more. I mean, Hera's gold gathering has been completely disrupted. There's very little stone left. Mr. Yo, look at this. 38 villagers on gold to Hera's 6, even with Schlachter privilege. I mean, that's just way too many villagers on gold for our Chinese, who is producing literally nothing at the moment. Interesting. Okay. Camels are not super duper cheap. Another castle. Mr. Yo focusing a lot of his villager count, 19 on stone. Oh, are you going to wall yourself in? Are you going to wall yourself in? I don't think he's noticing that there's Cavaliers, but I don't think the Cavaliers notice that there's a castle. They are so hell-bent on getting to these Trebs. Oh, the Cavaliers to the south are going to kill as many villagers as they can before the Chukanus get them. But man, they swarm over the camels. 30 seconds away is blast furnace for our Chinese. His camels are not exactly fully upgraded. He loses his entire army here. 2 villagers left. One gets attacked, taken off the production line. Another one hammering away. Oh my God, 98, 99. Why did the Hera let this castle go up? Oh my goodness gracious, that was the nail biter. And to the west, camels facing off guess what? Cavaliers. Hera's castle looks like it's about to fall. Mr. Yo all of a sudden 400 stone to the 150 of his opponent. Although Hera has found a fresh juicy quarry to mine. And he loses another castle. I really am curious as to why our Pole is going castles. He's not training obuchs. He's not getting Lachitic legacy for light cavalry. He doesn't have any light cavalry. He is going full on Cavalier. So why is he giving Mr. Yo an opportunity to destroy these castles? What's the point of these castles? It looks like, kind of looked like a Cavalier took a big old Treb ball to the face. I'm curious as to why he's going, he's so hell-bent on building castles as opposed to just taking these villagers, getting a bunch of wood, building more stables, and pumping out more and more Schlachter. But Mr. Yo, 37 villagers on gold. Hera, 29, has caught up slightly. He's going 52 Cavaliers. Mr. Yo's army numbers need to get up. This is not a great army count, even though he's only down 8. That includes 4 galleys and a light cav unit, and 5 Trebs, which are going to do and accomplish nothing against these Schlachter. And this is the moment Hera moves into the right. Will he move in on the left? He can't possibly move in here. A castle, 9, 10, 11 heavy camels. But let's see the bigger engage here to the right. Camels are holding their own. The castle doing quite well. The Chukanus adding a bit of arrow fire. Trebs look like they're safe. Hera loses his entire offensive force here, and his castle goes down again. Wow. At the same time, what the hell was happening here? Let's rewind that for a second. What a fun game. Man, oh man, are we seeing a lot of good camel games lately. Actually, let's take a look at what we're working with. I'm assuming these 3 camels are going to join in, so let's add their HP. 17 cavaliers, 11 camels, 650 difference in HP, but can never discount attack bonuses. Plus 18 attack speed too. I think the cavaliers, well, 1.9, 1.8. So it does attack a little bit faster. HP is identical. Armor a little bit more for the cavalier, but again, armor means literally nothing at this stage. And at this point, Mysterio's got a defender's advantage. He's got a stable nearby. Although Hera's also got a stable nearby. Wow. What a fun game. Hera opting, actually both players opting to get aggressive on both sides of the map, which just makes it so much more stressful. Can you imagine being in one of these players' shoes and having to allocate how many camels go to the left, how many cavaliers go to the right? I mean, had Hera taken 5 or 6 or 7 of these cavaliers and added them here, Mysterio's army would be dead. The Chukanus would be dead. The camels would be dead. The Trebs would fall. And all of a sudden, there'd just be a castle left for his Trebs. That being said, had he taken a few cavaliers from the right and put them here to the left, maybe these Trebs would have fallen. Then he can get into the juicy gold mining of Mysterio. It's so hard to say. It's so hard to pull a crystal ball out of your ass and try to see what each player should have done. What I think, if I can say one thing that happened here, it's that one villager that Hera just didn't see, that she was hammering away at this castle. And man, oh man, there were so many cavaliers here. And just one of them could have turned around, but Hera must have been looking somewhere else. And that's where the multi-pronged attack. I'm really excited to look at the APMs, by the way. But what an insanely fun game. I also want to see economies. Let's take a look at kills. Not the highest kill count game. Civilian population kills, not too terrible. I say civilian because not all of it was villagers. Some of it was fishing ships. And Mysterio, where are your fishing ships? Okay, they're here. Are they idle? One second. Let's go rewind right to the end of the game. Yeah, I feel like a bunch of these are idle. Unless there's something underneath them that I'm not seeing, but there's plenty of shore. Not exactly a shore fish, but in any event. Kill count. Our Chinese 166 to 120. No surprise there with the Chukanus, the castles, the ranged units. Let's take a look at APM. I have high expectations. Whoa, I'm a little disappointed. 178 right at the end of the game. 112 right in the middle of the game. Hera below his usual 200 in a game with 2 fronts. Resources also look like they're split up. And look at this. Look at relic count. Basically identical. Economies basically identical. A little bit more wood, a lot more gold for our Chinese, a lot more food. Big surprise there with the full works, and 1 extra castle's worth of stone for our pole. Conversions, probably nothing to write home about. 7 out of 171 is, what is that, 4%? Not too impactful, let's say. But yeah, Mysterio here just exerting control over the gold. Hera, like I said, it's such an incredible guessing game of how to allocate your units. And here it kind of looks like if he just pulled back a little bit and didn't keep taking castle fire after castle fire. I mean, this castle is not going down anytime soon with only 1 Treb and 1,000 HP. What is that? 3 volleys needed to take that castle down, especially with villagers repairing it. Maybe 4. Mysterio's got 250 stone, so maybe 3 or 4 volleys with these villagers. Hera would have done well to maybe retreat here. What infrastructure has he built? None. And this was also a disappointment here. I mean, what the hell was he building here? An archery an archery range nestled in the bosom of a bunch of houses and bamboo. Can any units even get out of here? Looks like there's a gap between these 2 houses, but okay, nothing really coming out of that archery range. And man, we got to see Chukanus, we got to see Schlachter, and ultimately Mr. Yo just securing both locations, trebbing down every single castle that the Pole managed to put up. And even though our Pole did put forth an incredibly valiant effort, man, did he soak up the stone, man, did he put up castles, man, was he going up to 50 plus cavaliers at one point. Ultimately, though, these camels, I may have to reevaluate what I said about the Chinese cavalry line being just good. And with those cavalry units, those camels, the Chukanus, the castles, and yeah, even the trebs, but more importantly, the one villager who was here and building this castle, securing this location, it is Mr. Yo, our Chinese in blue, who takes the W. But GG to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.